everyone. I hope you have all been good. And so today I wanted to talk about how I did my Daniel fast, why I did it, and where it comes from, and different African meals that I was cooking. So let's get started. So the Daniel fast is a biblical fast. I'm a Christian and I did it for biblical reasons. And so it comes from the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 3. And it says, so this is Daniel speaking. I ate no choice food, no meat or wine touched my lips, and I used no lotions at all until the 3 weeks were over. So Daniel was trying to get some revelation about a vision that he had seen. He wanted to really understand what it meant. And so he went into a moment or a period of humbling himself so that he could get in touch with God and get to know about what really God wanted him to do or what God meant with that revelation. And so the very first time I did the Daniel fast actually is a 21-day fast, but according to Daniel, and I did that 21-day fast where you have no caffeine, no meat, no dairy products, no processed foods. And I'm telling you, for a person who loves meat, I love my pork and I love my beef. And a person who loves caffeine, I love my coffee and tea. It can be a bit rough. So during that moment, it takes the grace of God. So I'll just give a small story and then I'll tell you how I went about it. So I first did the Daniel fast back in 2019. We did it with my mom and our church. Back then I was still in Kenya and our church held a Daniel fast. So it was not, let me say, yes, even though it was personal for me, it was like a church thing that I did it because the church suggested we do. So it was like a church thing and also like a personal thing, but not really personal because I am not the one who came up with during that season. And I'm telling you, 2019 was an year I experienced so much breakthroughs in my life that I was always praying for, and it was one of my best years ever. I experienced so much breakthroughs. So my mom was my accountability partner, and being back home, I had a bit of variety of foods. Back home we do mostly organic foods. You just go to the market and you can get organic food, like real organic food. And it was not so stressful. Then I also had my accountability partner as my mom, and we would encourage each other and pray. And this time I decided through the Holy Spirit to just do it on my own. So I read the book of Daniel last year around November, and I really had this conviction to just do a Daniel fast. As I shared in my previous videos that last year was a mentally challenging year for me, I felt so much conviction to do the Daniel fast because we are told that some things only fasting can break. Some strongholds only fasting can break. And if you are a Christian, you might understand this. It's not always about prayer. Sometimes we really need to go further and just do that spiritual work to break some strongholds. So after reading and studying the book of Daniel, I really had God telling me I need to fast and do the Daniel fast, but I didn't know when. So I said, okay, me as a human, I told God I will do it on February 2023 because in 2019, I did it in February 2019. So I thought February will be a good month. It's a short month. And by the time I'm done, it's 7 days and the month is over. Then God told me, no, You are starting the new year with me. We are doing the Daniel fast since we are starting it on January 1st. And I was like, ooh, okay, God. Then I need your grace because, January 1st, everyone is excited and it's a new year. So it was like, I'm starting the new year, I'm starting it with God. And honestly, it was the best thing that I ever did. So before I started the Daniel fast, I went into prayer. I asked God to guide me through what He wants me to pray for. And I just wrote down things on my sticky notes. I wrote down things. And some days I didn't have anything to pray for. So when I actually started the fast, that's when God told me, pray for this, pray for this, pray for this person, pray for this thing. And all my 21 days were full. So another thing I did is that I prayed for grace. Before I started the fast, I prayed for grace because on your own, it's hard. On your own, it's hard. But when you have God, He will give you the grace, He will give you the discipline and the humble heart to just go through the fast. And for me, it was also a moment of reconnection with God. I really wanted to connect with God on a deeper level because I had not taken some time for a very long time to just connect with God intimately and intentionally and just have Him like sharing much of my time with Him. And I really needed this for myself as well. So I have written my points in my computer so that I don't forget anything. So basically what I was doing during my fast for those 21 days, I love social media so much. I just love wasting time and scrolling my time on social media. So God told me to also reduce my time on social media. I was not like completely off social media, but I would limit my time, let's say like 30 to 45 minutes only in social media each day. And that time that I limited, I tried to take it back to God, maybe listening to worship music, listening to a preaching, praying. And when I started my fast, I can tell you the first week was rough. For me, I would get headaches because of the caffeine withdrawal. I tried to stop caffeine 1 week to starting the fast, but then I was like, oh no, I'll just go cold turkey. So because I tried and I was like, no, let's just do it when it comes. We'll cross the bridge when we reach there. I'm telling you, I had headaches. Every day I would just pray God to help me stop having those headaches because they were nagging me. So I would really rehydrate a lot. But then after that, my body started feeling like me again. I started feeling more energetic. And instead of caffeine and teas and everything, I went into, God helped me to discover other things that I never knew I would discover. I was taking hibiscus, non-caffeine, and ginger non-caffeine drinks. They were so good because they are good for the immunity. And I started coming back to my normal self again. Also, I was not eating as much. Yes. Okay, they say you should not starve yourself like when you're doing the Daniel fast, as long as you maintain the Daniel diet. It's like a vegan diet. But for me, I just felt like I want to feel that hunger. I want to feel that hunger so that I can remember why I'm doing this. So whenever I would feel that hunger creeping in me, I would just say a prayer. I would just, whatever I was praying, God, let's say like the first day I was just full of gratitude to God. I would just say, thank you, God. Thank you for, like, I try to look at everything in my life that I'm thanking Him for. So I tried to not eat as much. And when it comes to my diet, I have made a very simple like meal sheet because I had it rough trying to find vegan diets that would rhyme with me as an African. So back home it was easier, but here most things are processed, and I was trying to find organic vegan diets that I will be able to tolerate. So I made a cheat sheet or a meal that I will attach at the end of the video, and I'll also try to attach it on the description box. I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. And when it came to other drinks, I would make smoothies with no milk, just water, no added sugars, just pure fruits. But anyway, even before that I would make smoothies, but I would add milk. But during this season, I was not adding any milk. During the day, if I really needed a snack, especially at work, I would eat fruits, I would eat peanuts or almonds. And before I bought every ingredient, this was also another eye-opener. I would check, is it purely organic? Because some peanuts are roasted in honey, and honey is an animal product. I'm not supposed to eat that. For the spices, you are allowed as long as they are purely organic. So I did spices that were purely organic, like ginger, garlic, black pepper. And if when it comes to how to prepare the meals, you can eat boiled foods, roasted, baked, non-dairy foods, and non-animal product foods, like baked potatoes, but you cannot deep fry. So I missed all those things. I missed all those deep fried things. But as much as I missed them, during that season, I did not want anything that would just distract me from God, because honestly, I was living the best time of my life. Every day I would wake up and I would tell God, I am basking in your glory. Like, he had given me so much joy, so much peace. Even though I missed those foods, I did not want that moment to end. It was just the best time. So for those 21 days, I had different prayer items that I was praying for. I tried to limit myself from social media. The only thing I would post is in my WhatsApp status. I usually post my daily prayer of the day after I do my daily devotional. That's the only thing I was posting. And on Sunday, I would just post my video, and that's it. No selfies like I like posting, nothing else, until the 21 days were over. And it was the best thing ever. So I had some prayers that I was praying for, and there are some prayers that I got answers for. And there are some prayers that I have not gotten answers for. And I told God in his due time, if he wants to answer me, if he does not want to answer me, I am okay. As long as I had time with him, that's all that matters. Because when someone is your best friend, when someone is your friend, you are not worried about what they can give you. You love them for who they are, but not what they can give you. So in that moment, I told God, I am in this season of my life to spend time with you because of who you are to me. You are my best friend, you're my God, you're my Father. And whether you give me my answers or not, as long as I have you in this season, that's all that matters. And it was an amazing time. When I started my fast, I was reading from the book of First Chronicles, and when I reached like 12 days to the end of my fast, that is day 9. I cannot remember. I will write when I started reading the book of Daniel. God convicted me to read the book of Daniel again and see what I will, now I'm in the moment that Daniel was in, so it will bring more it will make more sense when I read it again. So I started studying the book of Daniel, and honestly, it was just amazing. I would study the book of Daniel one chapter a day, then go back to when I studied it before I was fasting, and I would compare the notes, and I was like, oh God, you gave me another revelation today. So it was an eye-opener. It was amazing. And for the recipes, basically I just bought things like brown rice for the carbohydrates, potatoes, sweet potatoes. I didn't have cassava anyway. I don't even like cassava. You can do yams if you have them. You can do arrowroots. I did not get them, but I love arrowroots. I did pumpkins. When it came to vegetables, all vegetables, as long as they are not processed, they are allowed. You can have them raw or slightly fried, like fried with, do not put so much oil. And when it comes to proteins, oh, I love my meat. Honestly, I love my meat. So this was my challenge. So I tried mushrooms. My husband liked them, but for me, I was struggling. So I also did legumes. I did beans, black beans, lentils, all those. I loved them. But if given an option, of course, I'll go for meat and not the lentils. But during that season, I would eat them like they are the most tasty meal I have ever eaten in this world. I'm telling you, God gives you grace. And when it comes to snacks, I had talked about peanuts, I had talked about almonds, I had talked about fruits. All fruits, as long as they are not processed, you can eat them raw, or yeah, I think fruits are eaten raw or in smoothie form, whole or in smoothie or in juice. You can eat them. What else? Bananas came for me because I was craving for sugar, because the Daniel fast is a no sugar diet. So I was craving for sugar sometimes, and I would eat bananas to just give me that sugar effect, just to feel good. So bananas came in so handy for me. And what else? So after my fast, I listened to one preacher say, after your fast, let me tell you, the devil, when you are preparing for a fast, or during the fast or after the fast, is bound to attack you, because he knows you're going to a very deep war against him. And so I really prayed God for this fast. And so that preacher said, after the fast, if he did not attack you before or during, be woke and pray so much, because he's bound to attack you. And so after my fast, like today is the fourth day after my fast, he said you should pray those 3 days after your fast very, very diligently. You pray against all evil forces. And I was really praying. And let me tell you, the devil is also crazy, because I dream very vivid dreams, and I can tell when God is speaking to me. He speaks to me in very vivid dreams. Like all my vivid dreams, most of them just happen. I used to take that for granted until I got saved, and I realized that I should take my dreams very seriously. And some of them even don't need any interpretation. They are so vivid, and they are sometimes happen like that. And so when I was in my fast, I was like some few days towards the end of my fast, I had a very strange dream, and I knew it was not from God, because in that dream I had broken my fast one day towards the end of my fast. I had broken my fast, and I was like, I found some food, and I think they were meat, and I can't remember, but it was not the vegan food that I was eating. And I was so like not even guilty to just eat that food. And when I woke up, I was so shaken, and I told God, God, I have one more day. We have come all this time together with you, and I'm not breaking this day when I'm almost done. Because you have never given up on me, I'm not giving up on you. And I told God, I really need grace for today. I need grace. Today is the last day, and I really need grace. And when we ended so well, I was so happy. And I told the devil, I got God. He got me. And that evening, I remember when I came from work, I had several bowls of pilau. You know pilau? And it had beef and chicken. I had also cooked some chicken for my husband because I did not want him to just sacrifice everything just for me, because I was the only one doing the fast. But he was willing to eat my foods. But sometimes I would just cook other meals for him. So we had like 4 dishes of pilau, and they were just warming in the microwave, and I was like, oh no, I can't eat pilau. I remember the previous stream I had, I can't eat pilau. If there's no other food in this house, I rather sleep hungry. This is the last night, and I'm not doing this. I went into the fridge, into the freezer, I started searching, and in the freezer I found one small dish like this. It had some brown rice, fried pumpkin and potatoes, and greens. The food was so little like this. I think it's the food that just remains, and you don't know what to do with it, so you just put it in a small tin and just stash it somewhere. If ever you feel hungry and you stumble upon it during the day, you can just eat. It was like a very small amount of food, and I was so excited, and I told the devil, not today, devil, not today. So we finished the fast, and I felt so good. It feels so good when you are challenged and you are able to reach the finish line. But I could not have done it without God. And the joy that God gave me during the fast, it was amazing. Because I remember last year, I didn't have that joy. I was like mentally struggling so much. And I think that's the only thing I needed. I just needed to reset. I just needed my time with God to help break that stronghold, because sometimes that's all we need. We just need God to just help us. So if any one of you is feeling convicted to do a Daniel fast or any type of fast, especially a Daniel fast, because the rest of the fast that I know about, like Esther fast, you don't eat, but Daniel fast, you can eat, but particular foods. So I'll just attach a small, very simple timetable that guided me. I was like repeating that for those 3 weeks, because I knew it was just 3 weeks and I can repeat. I recycled my meals over and over, and you just pray for grace. You pray for God to show you when, how, what to pray for, what to eat. So I wish you all the best, and I wish you all of God's great blessings. And until next time, bye bye and thank you.